Hello everyone, welcome back to Benjamight Gaming for my next episode of my playthrough of Ace Attorney, Justice for All. We are still working on this case for Maya, but we did get some really big information at the beginning of the last video. Make a long story short, we basically figured out that both Innie and Morgan are working together for this. Now, I was kind of suspicious of that before, but after a follow-up conversation where we finally broke the secrets on Innie, learning a lot more about the accident itself, we also had another conversation with Mia where we kind of bounced ideas off of one another, broke all the locks that she had, and we definitely came to the conclusion that as two of them are working together, we just weren't quite sure how the whole process worked yet. We're officially back in court. Morgan took the stand first, and man, I can't stand that lady. She just straight up lied to us. She lied to the court. She lied to Bonkers, and Bonkers probably knows the truth. She just lied to everybody to get her own way, and she bugs the heck out of me. But she wasn't up there for very long, and then she left, and then Miss Minnie came up on the stand, and that's who we're talking to now. We're already starting to poke some holes in her story, and it's only a matter of time before we finally crack this thing open and hopefully get a not guilty verdict. If by some chance this is your first time finding my channel, welcome. Hope you have a fantastic time. And if you've been here for a while, found that you do enjoy the content, it does help the channel out if you think about smacking that subscribe button. All right, let's not delay any longer, hop back in the court and start learning about Innie's story of After the Murder, Part 2. Welcome back, everybody. We are picking up right where we left off, and we ain't delaying. We're getting right back into After the Murder, Part 2. Like, the side room was like kind of dark, you know? Really? Because I thought it was pretty bright inside that room.
Objection!
Don't push the subjective's opinion onto this court. Like, that's right. Excuse me, but how is my statement any more subjective than Miss Minnie's? You are such a hopeless cause. Witness, you may feel free to ignore this trite little man. Like, okay. Can't breathe. Let me out of here. So, like, the costume is, like, purple, right? The blood totally blend right in. You didn't see the blood? Like, yeah. But she must have had the gun with her at the time as well. That's, Are you going to tell me next that you didn't notice the gun either? I, like, totally didn't. All I was looking at was, like, her face. Continue. And I, like, persuaded my sister it wasn't right to do something like that. And what was your sister, Miss Minnie, like at the time? Well, she was like totally flipping out because she just shot Dr. Gray. But I think like she knew. She said she did something really bad. And like she said she wanted to go with me to like apologize to Miss Morgan. Did Mimi's spirit really say all that to you? Like, yeah. And then, like, I took my sister to the channeling chamber. Was your sister calm by that time? Like, I guess so. I guess maybe, like, taking revenge on Dr. Gray, like, made her feel a lot better. I'd like to feel a lot better too, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The sooner the better. She says with her whip at the ready, right? And like, Miss Morgan was the only one in the channeling chamber, you know? May I ask you one more thing, Miss Minnie? Like, sure. Was there anything you found strange, unusual, or just out of place? Something out of place. Like, when do you mean? When? When you were in the side room, were going to the crime scene, arrived at the crime scene. Ooh. I'm trying to remember. Like, the urn would have been getting pieced back together during this time, right? That would almost mean that the sister would have had to run past Pearls to the side room, and then they would have passed Pearls again, going back to the channeling room. I'm going to say the middle one here, when you were going to the crime scene. I'm talking about when you were going to the channeling chamber, of course. Like, no, nothing strange. She answered rather quickly. Now what? Press harder. Think harder. I know you can remember something. I, like, totally can't. That's not good enough. You have to explain yourself clearly to this court. Do you think, Mr. Wright, that whether or not there was something odd on the way to the channeling chamber is all that important? It's very important. I ask because it's very important. Not that I know where I'm going with this. Very well. Miss Minnie, if you will, please include a statement about this in your testimony. Like, I don't get why, but okay. I, like, didn't see anyone on the way to, like, the channeling chamber.
Hold it!
Try to remember that time. Oh, like, I remember. Like, I totally didn't see anyone on the way. I guess this really is a dead end. Something you finally pull out of the witness is never a dead end, Phoenix. It's no good. I can't find it. I know what's wrong. I just always ask all the way to the end. Phoenix, the judge believes this testimony. If you don't find some sort of hitch in her statement, he'll end the trial. I know. We have to give another shot. It doesn't matter how many times we listen. We can't give up. But don't worry. I know what to do. Okay, costume was purple. Persuade my sister, and then, like, I took my sister to channeling chamber. I didn't see anyone. Okay. Now, what I'm wondering is, do I present the broken vase urn, or do I present Pearl's profile? Because both should have been there. I'm gonna go with the urn, because I feel like that's where we're kind of going with this. But I could see the other one being an option as well.
Objection!
I finally found the fault, or I guess in your case, the crack in your perfect lie. Huh? Take a look at this urn. Like, urn? There are cracks. Do you see them? So, like, what does that prove?
Objection!
Who cares about some worn out old urn? Like, yeah. I already know, like, said I didn't see anything, like anyone on the way to the channeling chamber. I didn't, like, totally say anything about, like, an urn, did I? It looks like you still don't understand. I propose that if you had really been walking along the winding way at that time— oh, great, now she's gonna say she took a different route. How much you want to bet that's gonna be her new story? There was no way you could have not passed this person. Girls.
Take that!
I'd like to introduce someone to you. This is Miss Morgan Fay's daughter, Pearl Fay. Yes, and how is this child relevant? It just so happened that at the time of the murder, Pearl was playing in the center garden. Oh? And she just happened to break this urn. Oh? Oh! Wait, she broke the urn? Yep, she accidentally knocked it over with her ball. And Pearl was the one who put it back together, while sitting right in the middle of the winding way. What? Oh, that's funny. It's funny. I've noticed during editing, sometimes my freak out modes, the mic even just like stops picking up the noises that I'm making. So if it ever looks like I'm just making no noise into the mic, I probably am. I'm just like off the rail with the sound or something. Miss Minnie. Huh? Pearl was there in the winding way at the time. She was hard at work, putting the pieces of the urn back together, you see. If you couldn't see that while you were walking, I'd have to declare you legally blind. Grrr. I think I have sufficiently proven one thing, Miss Minnie. You are full of crap. Oh, they worded it wrong. You are a masterful liar. Oh, I gotta add my own lines once in a while. Mr. Wright, you need to watch what you say. The one who needs to watch what she's saying is the witness. So, Miss Minnie, tell us the truth. About what? About what? About where you really were at the time of the murder, of course. The witness just testified about that. That's right. I was like sleeping in the side room. Can I really believe her? Was she really sleeping in the side room? There's no way. Your lies end here. What do you... The witness says that during the actual murder, she was asleep in the side room. And I say that's not possible because there is clearly a contradiction here. A contradiction? Where is this contradiction? It's in her testimony. It's in the evidence. Help me. Oh, man. Sleeping in the side room. I have a dozen ways I could see this go, and I don't know what to present or how to present it. And I don't know which one it is that they would want. I mean, we could say it's in her testimony because she says that she saw her sister. Well, her sister couldn't have seen her other sister without running past Pearls. Pearls never said that she saw the sister. And then they walked back and didn't see Pearls. So it's like the testimony declares that she couldn't have been over there sleeping because either way she went going, it doesn't make sense. We could say it's in the evidence because the box wasn't there and then the box was there after two different moments. But should I ask Mia for help? Because Mia's going to give me a piece of information that I haven't pieced together yet before I try to present. You know, it's like there's so many things I could present. I don't know what is the right thing. It's in her testimony just now. It's in the evidence. She couldn't have been sleeping because it's in her testimony. I'm going to try going with the testimony. I feel like I think that's where we're going to find it because that's where all the lies are at. I haven't really had to present much along line of evidence yet. And I don't know if asking Mia for help is just going to be like, you know what it is, you know, kind of like an encouraging kind of thing. We're going to try testimony. I'm going with my gut. Earlier in your testimony, Miss Minnie, you made the following statement. And like Miss Morgan was the only one in the channeling chamber, you know? It's true at that time, both myself and Miss Hart were not there. We had gone to call the police. So, like, what does that like have to do with anything? It's very simple. Miss Minnie, how did you know that fact? How? I concede that Miss Faye was the only person in the channeling chamber. However, someone who was asleep in the side room could not have known that. Huh? Which means, Miss Minnie, you did in fact go to the channeling chamber. I see what you're saying there. But you didn't go there by the way of the winding way. So what he's saying is that your own statement says that you definitely went there. We're not denying the fact that you went there, but you couldn't have used the winding way because you would have seen Pearl. You didn't see Pearl. And the only way you would have only known that Aunt Morgan was the only one in there is if you had gone there. Otherwise, you wouldn't have known who all was in the channeling room. So, yeah, I see what they're saying now. Order. Oh, you didn't even ask for order. Okay. Chaos, everybody. Say what you want. But look at the manor guide map. If one were to go between the side room and the channeling chamber, one would have to use the winding way. Yes, that's right, Your Honor. Which is why I asked this very important question. Where was the witness at the time of the murder? Miss Minnie, please answer the question.
Objection!
Don't ask a question off of a baseless assumption, if you please. Huh? Well, I suppose since you put it out on the table, Mr. Phoenix Wright, you might as well answer the question for us. Where was the witness at the time of the murder? Now's your chance, Phoenix. Yeah. The only person who could have killed Dr. Gray is Eeny Minnie. So now is the time to prove it. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer. Where was the witness when the murder took place?
Take that!
Miss Minnie was here, of course. What? But that's the channeling chamber. Isn't that the crime scene? That's right. Miss Minnie was at the scene of the crime. Oh, now he wants some order. That's why that is... Mr. Phoenix Wright, have you lost your mind? Yesterday's testimony established that only the victim and the defendant were in the chamber when the channeling started. Yes, that is correct. Please explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Simple. Miss Eeny Minnie was hiding at the scene of the crime. I was hiding? Where? Like, where was I hiding? Back here.
Take that!
Here, of course. Behind the folding screen? Don't make me say this again. Recall yesterday's testimony. There ain't no way anyone was hanging out behind that folding screen. See, you stupid jerk. Boy, she's falling apart now, isn't she? Quit being so quick to pin it on me, slime ball. Now, Miss Minnie, one so young as you shouldn't be saying, "Shut up, Gramps," as if you know exactly how old I am. I'm sorry? Looks like the pipes are about to burst. Guess I should help it along. The witness was hiding behind the folding screen with the help of this. Bada boom.
Take that!
Miss Minnie, how you were able to hide yourself at the scene of the crime is very simple. You were hiding inside this box. The tiny little box? No person could fit in that. We saw Lotta in there. Sorry, but your theory has already been disproven. Lotta disproved you when she was hiding from me in it.
Objection!
But that clothing box was in the side room, right? Which means it has nothing to do with the murder at all. That's right. I was sleeping there, so I should know. That clothing box was there in the side room the whole time. Mr. Wright? Do you think you can prove where the clothing box was at the time of the crime? Yes, I can. And now I present the piece of evidence that will prove this clothing box was at the scene of the crime when the murder took place. Present. Take a look at this clothing box. You're so stupid. As if there's any sort of evidence in that old thing. Huh? This... what on earth? Oof. I don't have time for you to sit there surprised. Hurry up and say it already. There's a hole. About 8 inches off the ground. A hole about 8 inches off the ground. Where have we heard that before? The folding screen. It had a hole at the same height. That's right. I hope this has opened your eyes to what happened. At the time of the shooting, the clothing box was sitting behind the folding screen, which is why the bullet from the pistol hit both the box and the folding screen. It went through the screen and then into the box. Miss Minnie, you were hiding behind the folding screen, waiting for your chance. Yes, for the chance to kill Dr. Gray. So what you are saying, then Mr. Phoenix Wright, what about this picture? Are you saying that the person in this photo is Miss Eeny Minnie? That is exactly what I'm saying. Miss Eeny Minnie. You were hiding inside the clothing box all along. And you wore a medium's costume to masquerade as Maya Fey. to masquerade as Maya Fey? She had it planned from the very beginning. She would kill Dr. Gray and pin the blame on my client. No, stop! I can't stand to listen to any more of this foolishness. If that's the case, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then I have a proposition. This whole idea that the witness moved the clothing box to the crime scene, pretended to be the defendant, killed the victim, and then fled the scene of the crime. It's not possible for one person to do all by herself. Correct, it's not possible. It really is impossible for one person to do all the preparations, that is. Ow! Need I remind you, the foolish receive no mercy? Wait, Miss Von Karma, you said it was not possible for one person, correct? Huh? You can't be serious. A poor hat. Miss Minnie, you had an accomplice. Profiles. Morgan.
Take that!
Grr, this person! If it wasn't someone from Corain Village, you couldn't have gotten the costume. And if it wasn't someone from Fey household, you wouldn't have had that box to use. Morgan Fey? Isn't that the wonderful lady witness we had earlier? What do you have to say to this, Miss Minnie? You shot Dr. Gray with your own two hands. Do you deny it? Oh, yeah. I think this is what really happened. The murderer had planted herself at the scene of the crime long beforehand. Dressed in a medium's costume and wearing a wig, she pretended to be the defendant. And then the channeling started. The murderer crept silently towards the other two, both of whom had their eyes closed. First, she drugged Maya Fey with a strong sleeping agent. Then she stabbed Dr. Gray with the knife. There she is. Next, she hid my client inside the clothing box. She did that so she could take Maya's place and frame her for the crime. But that's when something unexpected happened. Unexpected? Yes. Bang! Dr. Gray was actually not yet dead. With the last of his strength, he fired a shot at his attacker. And that is why the whole of the folding screen was so low to the ground. The murderer then took the gun from Dr. Gray and... bang! After that, you and the other lady thought to break into the room? Yes, a gunshot is certainly something you wouldn't expect to hear, which is why, upon hearing the shots, we forced our way into the channeling chamber. Click! Miss Minnie, she immediately covered her own costume with blood and pretended to be Maya Fey. But that sort of deception would have been easy to see through, which is precisely why Miss Morgan Fey chased us out. Please leave this area to me. Go quickly and inform the police. Hurry, before there are more victims here. What is one supposed to say? This is the real truth behind this murder. Yep. Ha! Oh, great. There it is. Here's the far left field objection comment that's supposed to make it all still make sense when there's no real way it's going to make sense. There's no way. It's going to be such a stretch. Such a stretch. Not going to work. Unless it's the judge laughing. If it's the judge, it's okay. Who is that? Laughing at a time like this? Back? Oh, you simple-minded fools. I'm sorry, are you still by chance evolving? What is this time? Miss Von Karma, surely. Of course it was me. Do you really think someone of Von Karma blood would lose due to something this petty? What in the world? Mr. Phoenix Wright, your argument is flawed in one very crucial area. And that is? If this witness is the real murderer, why would she go through all this trouble? Huh? Working together with a medium, pretending to be one, putting on this whole act. What reason would she have to do such foolish things? Well, that's, yeah, that's right. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Oh, and one other thing. Why would Miss Innie Minnie want to kill Dr. Gray? Where is her motive? Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to say too. Yeah, motive. I don't have a motive. Ah, motive. That's... I can't say she has no motive here. I have to think of a motive now. What is her reason for wanting Dr. Gray dead? The reason you wanted Dr. Gray dead is... I mean, it would have to be this, right? But my thought is, I want to read it again because my guess is I'm going to have to pick a page. Okay, I reread it. Let's fresh my mind. 1 year ago, okay. That I don't think's going to be it. I can't think of any of these others. Unless I got to present a profile. I think it's going to be this.
Take that!
Ha! Just as I thought. You bore me with your silly answers, Phoenix Wright. Just great. Now even she is calling me by my full name. You think I did this to get revenge for my sister's death? Yes. Because through that accident, you suffered a lot of hurt and pain yourself. Don't be stupid. No one has proof that Dr. Gray drugged my sister, right? And you want to say I wanted to take revenge based on nothing? What do you mean by that? Senile, stupid Gramps? I'm going to explain. So please listen, okay? It's been over half a year since I was discharged from the hospital. If I wanted revenge, then I wouldn't have waited this long. And besides, the guy that thought of the spirit thing was Dr. Gray. It was a total coincidence he asked me about it, you know? She's back to her airhead persona. Yeah, we expected this. I expected this. However, you see... Ow! Pathetic, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You failed to support your own theory. The end. I think we have our answer, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What Miss Minnie has stated is very true. The revenge plan is overly complicated and she has no motive in the first place. Furthermore, there is no reason for Miss Morgan Fay to cooperate with this plan. You don't even have any truly decisive pieces of evidence to demonstrate your point. Tisk, tisk. So many faults, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You should really learn your place. What happened? I thought I had her for sure. See, it's just as I told you. I hope you liked your slice of humble pie. Very well, I now conclude the cross-examination of Miss Innie Minnie. Hold it! Your Honor, please allow the defense 1 more minute. All right. You can't lose here. Have faith in yourself, Phoenix. Mia. Yes, it does sound like a ridiculous, messed up plan for a murder. But, regardless, the girl trained for this crime. Really? Listen, Phoenix. Everything happens for a reason. There's a reason for why she had to kill Dr. Gray. And it is also the reason she had no choice but to kill him in this fashion. Time is up, Mr. Wright. Your final answer, please. If you want to say that you can prove Miss Minnie had a motive, then why did she kill the victim in this way? Can you prove the reason? Can I? Can I really do this? Yes, I can. I'm not totally confident here, but I know I must press on no matter what. That's right, Phoenix. Only you can do this now. I will show and substantiate the fact that Miss Minnie had a motive. Ha ha ha, too bad. You're too late. My cross-examination is already ended, after all. Eek! Interesting. I'll let you have your chance, Mr. Phoenix, right? What? You're supposed to be on my side. Aye! Von Karma only cares about the perfect win. As long as you have the will to fight, I will knock you down, Mr. Phoenix, right? Thanks. And I don't care if you are my witness. So help me, I will throw you out of my way. No way! Very well. The court will take a 5-minute recess. We will continue the cross-examination after we reconvene. Hey, wait a second! Wow. To be continued. Wow, we got a whole nother section. Now that I didn't expect. Is it really true about my aunt? I'm afraid so, Maya. There is no way Annie could have killed Dr. Gray by herself. And under the circumstances, there's no one else other than your Aunt Morgan. That's terrible. Why? Why would my aunt? Everything is going just as I predicted, Mr. Phoenix, right? Ah, Miss Von Karma. Why are you doing this? Why are you trying to take revenge on Nick? Nick had nothing to do with what happened to your dad. Don't you have something better to be worried about? Say, your own situation? Ugh, looking down on me even though we're the same age. Are you done yet? You've caused me enough pain and suffering. Not yet. My goal is to defeat you and to let the world know of your defeat. But even if you do that, it won't bring your father back. Whatever. In the meantime, let's bring this match to its conclusion. And then we'll know who the real winner is. Here we go. So we're going to get a new testimony? Is that what this is going to be? Court will now reconvene. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. Can you prove Miss Annie Minnie had a motive? Yes, I believe I can. Annie Minnie and Dr. Gray have only 1 point of connection. 1 point of connection. I mean, are we talking about the hospital? But were they in the same hospital? I know she used to be a patient of his. And that is the car accident 1 year ago. The motive I'm looking for must be there. Miss Minnie, please testify to this court about your car accident last year. Huh? I thought, you wanted to, ask about my, motive. I, don't see the point in, bringing up the past. Miss Minnie, if you please. Okay. I totally don't think it'll do any good, but last year's accident. You know, one thing they do bring up in that interview is that she made it out she opened the right door and got out in time. What if she was the one actually driving? She was the one driving, she fell asleep, and even though she managed to get out, her sister died because she fell asleep. And she blames herself and Dr. Gray for that. But we already just said that. I don't know. I need some more information. Last year's accident. That was last year in May. Something really bad happened at my sister's clinic around then. And the night of the accident, my sis was totally tired while she was driving. I was totally pooped too. So I fell asleep in the passenger seat. See, they keep saying passenger seat over and over, but they don't let us see the screen. Wait, that almost looks like a guy's arm. you think Dr. Gray was originally in the car? You think Dr. Gray was driving the car? And maybe that's what happened. I mean, that doesn't change anything, though. It's still him that killed the sister, and she already said that she has no motive. I don't know. That's what's throwing me off here is she was saying, I have no motive for him killing my sister. Unless, I don't know. It's weird. The way the wording was used, I'm sure they've had specific words in there and a little bit of be like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, I see. That's the little loophole. Maybe that's what they're going for here. But I almost feel like ultimately what we were trying, I thought when the objection and everything occurred, we were going to try to find a way that had no connection to the death of her sister because of Dr. Gray. That it was something completely between Dr. Gray and Annie, just the two of them. That the sister's not really connected. But the whole sister aspect of it was created to make it look like that was the reason. You know what I mean? And maybe that's where we're heading. But starting off with the car and with this testimony and everything again, I keep finding myself wanting to go back to the sister is the sister being killed is the reason that Annie wanted revenge, is what I keep wanting to go back to. But I'm assuming we're not trying to go that route, but the game's trying to push me that way. You know what I mean? I think that's what's going on here. Okay, fell asleep in the passenger seat. I woke up because of a jolt, and it was a sea of flames around me. I opened the door and got away. See, that time she didn't specify the right door, which could be important. And not to mention on this picture right here, if this is to be important, the right side's completely engulfed in flames. It's the left side that actually has an opening. I don't know if that's important or not. I mean, we see this, but it's not like this is something the court's gonna see. You know what I mean? I think I've heard of this incident. It was all the talk on the tabloid shows, day after day, last year. Yes, and there was talk about Dr. Gray drugging your sister? Ah! Those were merely rumors, totally baseless gossip. Yes, Mr. Wright, you may question the witness. Right now, it's impossible to prove that Dr. Gray did, in fact, drug Miss Minnie's sister. Yeah, which means I have to work this from another angle. Okay. That was last year in May. Didn't some sort of medical malpractice happen at your sister's hospital then? Yeah, that was in May too. The thing with all the patients dying was May 2nd. And our accident was on the 24th. 2 accidents back to back. Do you assume it's just a coincidence? My sis was totally tired. So that's why, duh. Something really bad happened at my sister's clinic around then. That was the malpractice incident where 14 patients died, correct? Yeah. What was the cause of the mistake? I heard it was because the medicines, got mixed up. Was that the fault of your sister, Mimi Minnie? No way. Dr. Gray, wanted to blame it on my sis.
Objection!
That incident has nothing to do with our murder here. Besides, the police report has already documented that it was entirely Mimi Minnie's fault. Which means, as far as the real facts are concerned, Mimi Minnie is the one who made the mistake. But it really wasn't my sis. So maybe that's what we're trying to get at, is that she was being framed? Do you think that could be her motive? For wanting to get Dr. Gray? Not because of... But, I mean, why would somebody want to get revenge because the sister was being framed and not because the sister got murdered, you know? Surely that's worse. But maybe it adds to the motivation. I don't know. And the night of the accident, my sis was totally tired while she was driving. You didn't try to stop her? She was totally tired? You mean exhausted? Like, she had to talk to the police and, like, was being investigated, like, every day. It was, like, a totally terrible situation. It's no wonder, then, that the car accident happened, huh? Press harder. So then, why didn't you ask to switch places? Huh? Like, what are you talking about? I meant switch drivers. If your sister was so tired, then you should have switched with her. True. Ah, but like, I don't like have a driver's license. Well, let me show you something. So funny. This is news to me. I was not aware you didn't have your license, Miss Minnie. Miss Minnie, please amend your testimony. Like, okay, anyways. I was like totally pooped out too, so I like fell asleep in the passenger seat. I'm gonna go back. And like the night of the accident, my sis was totally tired while driving. Oh, maybe her statement about not having a driver's license is coming up. I was totally pooped out, fell asleep in the passenger seat. I like woke up cause of a jolt. I like opened the door and got away. I like didn't have my license, so like I couldn't take over driving for her. Present. I was like, where'd it go? These.
Objection!
Miss Minnie, that was a lame lie just now. Like, what do you mean? I know you had a license back then. This is a photo you took for the express purpose of getting your driver's license. What is the meaning of this, Miss Minnie? That's right. Yeah, I had like a license, but I didn't get it until after the accident. That's not true either. No, you had it. You had it at the time of the accident. Director Hottie, or the guy pretending to be him anyway, said so. What are you talking about? That perverted fake clinic director? Yes, that's the perverted fake clinic director. And how did you know? Ow! No one cares. Witness, when did you receive your driver's license? Like last November. What? November? The accident happened last May. That's a half a year lapse in time, Mr. Phoenix, right? What in the... That's what happened, Mr. Wright. At the time of the accident, Miss Minnie did not have a driver's license. Irk! Ow! Cry and my whip will accommodate. Anyways, without a license, the witness and her sister could not have switched drivers. I'm like glad you get it, but like even if I had my license, I like don't think my sis would have like let me drive. Yo! Don't just stand there humming to yourself. Not you too, Mia, with the whip and the pain and the ow! Miss Minnie, why do you think you would not have been allowed to drive anyways? That's because I think the situation calls for a more detailed testimony, Miss Minnie, if you please. Like how annoying. Oops, like sorry, didn't mean to be mean. I wouldn't be allowed. Like around that time, I was like really close to getting my license. My sis was like this totally big fan of cars and like really valued them. She like had just gotten this really shiny bright red sports car. She like would say things like, "No way am I letting a noob drive my car." So like that's why I ended up in the passenger seat that night. Let's see. A bright red car for sports. Now then, the defense may question the witness. I'm not terribly knowledgeable about cars, but... Okay, I wouldn't be allowed. Like around that time, I was like really close to getting my license. So what do you mean by really close? Like I had one of those permit things. I think that's what they're called. Permit? Wow, the big-name lawyer boy doesn't even know what a driver's permit is. Well, this lawyer never had a permit. What? Ignorance is to be whipped? What is with her? All she said in the last few minutes is utter nonsense. So, may I continue? My sis was this totally big fan of cars and really valued them. She valued cars? How much would you say she valued her car? Well, she'd flip out at a drop of rain. And she would notice if someone touched the car door with dirty hands. In that case, why bother taking the car out of the garage? Ever. Press harder. Why did she take such special care of the car? How can you say that? It was a brand spanking new car. New car? You wouldn't want to get it dirty, would you, Mr. Lawyer? I would think the car's getting dirty is just another fact of life, but I guess people who really love cars think otherwise. Phoenix, try asking something of more significance, all right? Well, Miss Minnie, what kind of car was it? She had just gotten this really shiny, bright red sports car. It was a new car. Yeah. She had just gotten it. It was from the UK. The UK. Were those her boyfriend's initials? And it was a really special model. She had waited for a whole year for it to arrive. I guess her love of cars would be the obvious next topic. I guess so. I really don't know anything about cars, but I had a feeling this was bound to come up. Your Honor. Yes? Please have the witness append she just said to her testimony. You mean the part about it being a special import car? Yes. Well, if you like cars that much, then that's not my point. Though, to be honest, I don't know what that point is either. Miss Minnie, would you please fix your testimony? Sure, whatever. My sis' new car was a totally special model from England. I yelled, "Hold it," pretty forcefully, but I don't actually know what to ask about cars. Ask for the heck of it. So yes, what am I supposed to pick for a topic? Let's start with this. Why are British cars good? Huh? They're expensive, and the driver's seat is opposite to our cars here in the States. Oh my goodness. She was the one driving. Because she got out on the right side. It would seem there is no benefit to owning one. Huh? This whole steering wheel on the right side of thing, it's kind of goofy, isn't it? What do you know? That sleek shape, the wild way it starts, the raw feel of minute transmission. Forgive me. Personality really changed at the drop of a hat. It's interesting, isn't it, Phoenix? Bit by bit, we're beginning to see the real contradiction behind this case. She would say things like, "No way am I letting a noob drive my car." Was your sister good at driving? She was, totally awesome. She said she was going to be a racing queen of the nursing world. Somehow I think she bumped my question off track again. So that's why I ended up in the passenger seat that night. And that was when the accident occurred, correct? Yeah. I immediately reached for the passenger side door and fled in a daze. Sounds like you had a terrifying time. There is something very big here. It's going to be hard to break apart such a natural sounding testimony. But we have to attack it, and by doing so, a flaw will show itself. It has to. Do you really think so? Believe, there is a path, I know it. Mia almost sounded like a prophet for a second there. Yeah, I know where the contradiction is. Question is where do I exactly pronounce it? Not here. My sister was okay. My sis, new car from England.
Hold it!
All right, I'm gonna present. Oh, no. Wrong button. Okay, so I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna present. I'm gonna present this. Oh. I thought I was. I must have done it wrong. Or I want to double check my page here. I think it was on the second page. It was totally... But I opened the right door and got out. So right there on page 2. Okay. Present.
Objection!
Miss Minnie. Do you remember this article? It's an article about the accident. You had said this in it. But I opened the right door and, got out. That's correct, isn't it? Why are you suddenly asking me about that? Your Honor, which side is the passenger seat, the left or the right? Well, it's on the right side, of course, because the driver's on the left side. That would be if it were an American car, but it would be the opposite in a British car. Opposite? The two of them were riding in a British car. In that case, the passenger side would be the left side. Oh! What do you mean by this? Miss Minnie, you said that you had escaped using the right side door of the car. But if you were sitting there, then that means you were in the driver's seat. Oh man, that feels good. Mr. Phoenix Wright is blabbering nonsense again. Innie said the person who was driving was her older sister, Mimi Minnie. That is what Innie said, yes, but that is where her story falls apart. Somewhere, all of us made a big error in our assumptions. Phoenix, it looks like you finally found the real root to this murder. If we connect all the dots, there can only be one answer. I'd like to ask the court a question. Innie or Mimi? Who was really driving that night? I'm still wondering if they're the same person. We're gonna go with Innie. And the answer is Innie Minnie, of course. Why would you say it? You know, it's kind of funny that the names are Innie and Mimi, kind of a play on that whole eeny, meeny, miny, mo kind of thing. And you know how the whole point of it is eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by their toe. You know, it's all about a picking game. You're bouncing back and forth and who's it going to land on. And that's really how this court case is kind of played out, is we keep bouncing back and forth between the two sisters. Why would you say that? Miss Innie Minnie just said so herself in her testimony. She said that she escaped the car from the right side door, which would have been where the driver's seat was. Ow! I'm inclined to feel sorry for a foolish fool who foolishly spends his time foolishly. At that time, Miss Innie Minnie had not yet received her driver's license. She lied. Just say it. And that is why the accident happened. Hold it, Phoenix. It looks like you still don't see the real truth behind the accident. The real truth? Think outside the box. Isn't that what we always say? I'm still wondering if it's the same person. In the back of my mind, I've tried to keep it aside because I knew if I just keep thinking that it's the same person, I was going to be answering questions wrong. So I'm like, okay, I got to wait to see if the story ever starts to steer us down a way that makes me start to wonder, are they the same person? And I feel like it's starting to go that way. Especially with her freak out mode, the way she's got almost like the split personality kind of thing going on. She's trying to stay calm, cool, and collect, but then she freaks out. And then she went off on how amazing cars were there for a minute. And we know that that's a Mimi attribute, you know? Okay. Think outside the box. All right, one more time. If we connect all the dots, there can only be one answer. I'd like to ask the court a question. Oh, so now we can say the other one. The answer is the one person who had her driver's license, Mimi Minnie. After all, that makes her the only person who could legally drive. But you just said the witness, Miss Eeny Meeny, was the one in the driver's seat. Which leads us to the next question. The next question? Who is the person standing at the witness stand right now? That's right, baby. That's right. I was suspicious of that forever ago. Oh, man. I'm supposed to go to sleep after I'm done recording that. I'm not going to be able to. Get me all worked up. Drop it, Phoenix. Drop it on him. Let's throw a mic down. What sort of idiotic ruse is this, Mr. Phoenix Wright? This witness's name is... I'll tell you what her name really is. This witness's real name is... Profile. Mimi Minnie.
Take that!
I'm gonna lose 4 health bars or 5 health bars if I got it wrong. Mimi Minnie. That is your real name.
Objection!
Of all the foolish dribble, then how do you explain her appearance? This witness had severe facial burns when she was admitted into the hospital. So for the purpose of facial reconstruction, the surgeons used a picture. Facial reconstruction surgery? This is the picture she gave to her doctors at the time. That's right. It's a picture of her younger sister. No! But Mimi Minnie, she died in the car accident? That's what everyone thought. However, that was not the case. Then the body they found at the crash site. That was the body of the real Eeny Meeny. Isn't that right, Miss Mimi Minnie? Here's how it really went. That car accident 1 year ago. The one who died that night was Eeny Meeny. Her sister, Mimi, then stole her face and was reborn as Eeny. With this, she effectively erased Mimi Minnie from existence. Your Honor, I'm sure you can now see why Mimi had to kill Dr. Gray. What do you mean? What is the meaning of this nonsense? Dr. Gray wanted to call back the spirit of a dead person. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's a pretty good twist. I had thought about that. Wouldn't be able to call back somebody who's not dead. And what I'm wondering, like, if she tried to call back Eeny Meeny or Mimi Minnie, or wait, Mimi. Mimi would have been the one she was going to try to call. Would Eeny Meeny have shown up? Or can you only call the person that is actually dead? You know, I'm kind of wondering about that. Specifically, the spirit of his nurse that died in the crash, Mimi Minnie. However, that would not have been possible because Mimi Minnie was still, in fact, alive. And that fact would have been discovered had the channeling been conducted. So this witness had to stop that from happening at all costs. And that's why she had to kill Dr. Turner Gray? Is that what you're saying? Yes. Before the channeling, Dr. Gray had the misfortune of consulting this witness about communicating with the dead. And in the moment, his fate was sealed. Oh, Miss Eeny Meeny? I mean, Miss Von Karma? Eek! Why did you say my name just now? Looks like I've been unmasked. Witness? That's right. I admit it. My real name is Mimi Minnie. That quack doctor, he got what he deserved in the end. And I was so close to finally ditching Mimi too. So close. But why? Why would you go so far as to throw away yourself to become your own sister? I think I understand why. Mimi Minnie wanted her old self to disappear because of this. I'm assuming this?
Take that!
That's about the malpractice incident. Dr. Gray was right. The mistake was caused by the nurse. A nurse by the name of Mimi Minnie. That's right, the person standing before us today. And a few weeks after this mishap, Mimi Minnie had a car accident in which she lost her younger sister. The timing couldn't have been worse. 14 patients dying in that incident and her own sister's life extinguished. It was all too much to bear. I found a way for myself to escape it all. The only way. She lost everything in the flames of the accident, her sister, and even her own face. This was her last chance. Her chance to throw away her past and start a new life as her sister. Wow. Unbelievable. A plan beyond my wildest imagination. That jerk. If only he hadn't thought of the channeling mumbo jumbo. Mumbo jumbo? Becoming Innie has been the most horrible experience in the world. Spirit channeling, the occult. I hate it. I hate it all. I believe there are still a few unsolved riddles here, such as, why did Miss Minnie choose to go with such a complicated plan? And why did Miss Morgan Fay agree to help her execute it? Regardless, I believe one thing has been made crystal clear. The innocence of the defendant, Maya Fay. This is preposterous. I'm perfect. Me, Franziska von Karma. I'm going to enjoy the news tonight, Miss Von Karma. How about you? It's going to be a broadcast all over the world, right? Your defeat, that is. And one more for good measure. Oh, Phoenix, hang in there, Phoenix, Phoenix. This court is a fraud, a sham. She doesn't take defeat very well, does she? Now then, it looks like it will be some time before Mr. Wright regains consciousness. So I will go ahead and pronounce the verdict. Not guilty. That's fantastic. That is all. This court is adjourned. What a case, man. That was fantastic. Congratulations, Maya. Sis? Aww. Look at that. It's good to see you, Maya. How are you doing? Sis? Sis? I didn't kill anyone, did I? No, you didn't. It was all just a dream. A really bad dream. You know, sis, in my dream, I smelled a really familiar scent. A familiar scent? I was inside that clothing box, right? That box. That was the box you used to store your clothes in a long time ago. That's right. There is still one thing I don't quite get. What's that? What would have happened if Mimi hadn't shot Dr. Gray? I mean, we broke in because we heard a gunshot. I think Mimi Minnie had planned to open the door to the chamber herself. And then you and Lotta would have witnessed quite a scene. A possessed Maya Fay who had just committed a murder. She had it planned down to the smallest details, huh? Nick! Congrats, Maya. Thanks. Looks like you bailed me out on another jam. Well, you know, but I really don't want something like this to happen ever again. I'm fine because I have you to help me out, Nick. But every time something happens, I lose someone special to me. First my sister, and now my aunt? Hey Nick, tell me why my aunt went and did something so horrible. Why would she help Mimi Minnie with a plan like that? I just don't understand it, Nick. Maya, it's over. Why don't we just let it be? Nick, please, I need an answer. The reason Morgan helped Mimi with her plan was... I mean, the only thing I could think of is to present pearls. That's my best guess. Let's try that.
Take that!
Pearly? 4 years from now, a new master will be born into Karain Village. And that person will be you, Maya. But if you weren't there, then the main family's bloodline would disappear. And what would happen then? The Branch family. My aunt. No, Morgan's spiritual power is too weak. The next person would be Pearls. Everything was done for her sake. It was all so that Pearls would become the next master. Yeah, I can see that. Did Maya say something just now? I think she was saying, I thought so. Date and time unknown. Detention center. Solitary confinements. What? My precious Pearl, you are the only one suitable to be the master of Karain, dear child. I sacrificed it all for you. I helped that brainless nurse carry out a murder and cooperated with the whip-happy prosecutor. It was all to unseat that annoying, witless Maine family girl, that Maya Fey. Bet she's going to hold a grudge. But I shall be patient, my dearest Pearl. A chance will present itself. Look at that. Yep, it ain't over with her. Your time will come. Episode 2, Reunion Turnabout, the end. Well, there we have it. We finally got the not guilty verdict for Maya. My goodness, what a crazy case that was. One thing I did appreciate about that case, I was nervous going into it because we had so many profiles and so much evidence. And I was like, my goodness. And we even had 2 people that were, in on the crime. I think that's well, no, we've had that happen before where we had more than one person kind of in on it. But after our experience with like the bullet hole burn and a couple other things in the past where it was like very, very niche what I had to look at, I was so nervous there was going to be some point in the process here where I got completely lost, which I did have one hiccup there where it involved the key. That was kind of before the case actually started. But I kind of felt like every point that we made it into the case, it was... I got a pretty good idea of what it was I was going to have to present, and it kept flowing and it kept making sense, and I really enjoyed that. I think that twist of them turning out to be the same person is fantastic. That's what I was really, really hoping for, because I was like, this is just crazy. If it wasn't that, I was going to be kind of disappointed. Now, technically, it was 2 people, but the person that we were interacting with, Innie, was both Innie and Mimi. The sister unfortunately died. And man, what a selfish sister too. I mean, I don't blame her for wanting to kind of like start over. Everything had gotten messed up. She caused 14 people to die. And then she had the accident with her sister dying. And it's like, she just kind of moved on. If you think about it, it was like 1 year since she had gotten out of the hospital, but I think she was in the hospital for like 6 months or something like that. And then it was 1 year since the accident. And it's like she just kind of moved on. She lost her sister. Her sister, for crying out loud. And yeah, she was crazy. And Morgan, man, she's going to be back. I don't know if it'll be in this game or if it'll be one of the future ones, but we'll definitely have another run-in with her. I had a feeling that since she wasn't like the main villain in that whole thing, and she never even came back to the stand, I was like, okay, there's going to be something more with her So I'm glad they had that little cutscene afterwards. That was a lot of fun. Well, as usual, I can't wait to see what's going to happen on the next case. I'm sure it's going to be wild and crazy. Von Karma, I don't know if she'll be the prosecutor again. We kind of tainted her record, so I could see her being back for some revenge. But at the same time, it ain't going to be perfect again. There's no way she can get it corrected unless she has some kind of loophole that can get it corrected, which would not be cool. That's going to be it for this one, though. Until next time, continue to be safe out there, and I will see you on that next one.